What's up, everybody? It's Jay here. Sorry for any background kitchen-based noises. I'm sorry if my dog starts barking. I'm sorry if you can hear the trains that run along the back of my garden. It is Wednesday, the 15th of June, and I'm going to talk about the Orlando shooting. I'm going to talk about it because I feel like I should, and I feel like if I don't, I'm doing a disservice to other LGBT people, other trans people, and the people who died, and the people who are still injured or in critical condition. I don't really know where to start. I really didn't think that I would be as upset as I am. I'm not really a crier, especially since I started testosterone, but I've gotten very close to crying over this a few times now, and that's saying something. I'm sad. And there's a few reasons why, because it's not just the shooting itself. It's the way the wider world and the community has reacted to it as well that saddens me. It saddens me that the wider world has been so hesitant to say it's a hate crime when every LGBT person knows that's exactly what it was. It was a hate crime. We all know what a hate crime looks like, what a hate crime feels like. You don't randomly pick a gay bar full of LGBT queer young people. You don't randomly pick a gay bar. You don't randomly kill 50 queer people. And I'm disappointed that people think that they can say it's not a hate crime. I'm really disappointed in that. Because that's what it is. I'm disappointed that people are using this as an excuse to spout Islamophobic bullshit. Just because the shooter was from a Muslim background, just because the shooter had pledged his allegiance to ISIS, doesn't mean that Islam as a religion, that Muslims as a people are homophobic, are transphobic, are queerphobic. The fact of the matter is that we've got overwhelming amounts of evidence saying that this was homophobic and that he chose Pulse because it was homophobic. Like, I'm gonna read out the Facebook post that I wrote about this because I don't really think that I can come up with anything better to say right now in this moment. The worst mass shooting in American history, and its 50 dead LGBTQ plus people in a gay bar in their safe space on Latin night celebrating Latino LGBTQ plus people, with transgender talented acts performing. Almost 47 years ago the Stonewall riots occurred. They were spurred on because patrons at a gay bar were being harassed by police. What's changed? Queer people still can't go to their safe spaces without being at risk. Marriage equality is all well and good, but we'd like to not get shot, not be banned from donating blood, not be denied service based on sexuality or gender identity, not have our bathroom usage policed. Marriage equality doesn't erase bigotry. It is Pride Month and 50 queer people are dead. Over 50 are injured. I'm lost for words because every time I go to belong to, I see rooms full of queer young people. It's like the Grim Reaper is looming over our heads. Who's going to be shot in a hate crime? Who's going to commit suicide over bigoted bullying? Who in this room is actually going to survive? This is why we still need pride, why we still need LGBTQ plus safe spaces, why the fight for equality doesn't end at marriage, because I should never ever feel unsafe because I am trans, My friends should not feel unsafe because they are queer. I shouldn't have to see my friends die. For those of you who don't know already, Belong To are like an LGBT youth organisation in Ireland, and they run various youth groups, a few of which I attend, and I was at one on the day of the shooting. I had heard about the shooting before I went that morning, but I feel like a lot of people hadn't yet heard. A lot of people hadn't yet heard about it. It was weird because I left early, but apparently after I left, a fire alarm went off, and a lot of people were very, very scared because it was an accident. Somebody set it off by accident, but a lot of people were super freaked out because the immediate thought was, is this another hate crime? Has the building been set on fire on purpose? I feel like now we can really prove a point. It's not safe to be LGBT. When I was at the TGEU conference, which I've yet to make a decent video about, a reporter asked me and my friend about being trans in Ireland, and he was basically like, so it's easy to be trans in Ireland and transphobia doesn't exist, but like, that's not what it's like. Transphobia is still real. Homophobia is still real. You can't dismiss LGBT experiences, especially not when it comes to discrimination. You can't dismiss that because it's happening. It's real. On Monday, it's Wednesday today. On Monday, I went into town early on with a few friends. I'll put in the pictures here. With a few friends, and we went around town with chalk because we like to keep things legal, and we basically just wrote messages in chalk around the city. We had stuff like homophobia is real, homophobia kills, transphobia kills, stuff like we are Orlando, stuff about stuff about pulse, 50 pulses, stuff about love conquering hate, stuff about pride and still being proud. Basically, we just wrote in chalk anywhere we could about being LGBT and how even if homophobia is still rampant and homophobia is still killing people, that we're not going to stop being ourselves, and we're not going to let that stop us from being ourselves. After our time spent doing all this chalking all over the city, we went to a vigil. There was a vigil held at Barnardo's Square, which is pretty close to where the Belong To Youth Services are. It's pretty close to, for those of you who won't know where it is, Trinity College, if you know where that is in Dublin. It's pretty close to that, and honestly I was expecting like 20 people, 50 people. There was hundreds of people there. There was pride flags everywhere. There was a little shrine with like candles and stuff, pride flags with just positive messages to the people in Orlando. The heads of the 3 prominent LGBT organisations in Ireland, GLEN, which is Gay and Lesbian Equality Network, TENI, which is the Trans Equality Network, and I Belong To, which is the youth organisation. They all read out the list of names of the deceased that had been identified, and just like, it's just sad. I'm just sad. I can't express how beautiful the vigil was. To see so many people, both LGBT and allies, together in the one place, and for everyone to have that same feeling was amazing. And it was sad and it was beautiful. There was a choir there, and they sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which I guess you could say is a pretty gay song. And a lot of the crowd started to join in, and it was really beautiful. And I think that while I hate tragedy, I hate sadness, I hate the fact that LGBT people are still at risk, that queer people are still at risk, that we have such risky lives simply because we care to exist. I love how visible community can be after these things happen. I love how the community really bands together and becomes vocal about the things that are going on. I love how there is solidarity there. I love that. I love the solidarity that I can see in the LGBT community in times like this. I was with my two friends at the vigil, and like, there was a solidarity there between us that we wouldn't normally have, and there was something in the air that I felt like I could go up and hug anyone and they would hug back. But yeah, long story short as to how I feel about this, I think that the non-LGBT community and the cis-hets of the world, they need to say that it is what it is. It's a hate crime. They need to recognise that all of their passive homophobia, saying things like faggot, saying things like dyke, saying things like tranny, that's contributing to this violent homophobia that we're seeing now. They need to face the facts that queer people are the experts of queer identity, and that you can't talk over queer people when it's queer people who are dead. I think it's awful that people are using this as like ammunition to further alienate certain parts of the LGBT community. They're using it as ammunition to be like, asexual and aromantic people don't belong in the LGBT community. And I think that's disgusting that you would do that, that you would use a tragedy like this as fucking ammunition to kick people out of a safe space. I'm disgusted that people are using this as a chance to exercise their Islamophobic muscles. I'm scared, like anyone else would be, and I just hope that everyone in Orlando knows that the rest of the world cares. The rest of the world is really, really hurting for them, and the rest of the world is proud of them and is mourning with them. And yeah, so that's all. Thank you for watching. I'm not going to tell you to like or subscribe to this video, because really I just felt like I had to make this video. It wasn't something that I did that I'm putting out there for subscribers or views or anything. I've also got monetization turned off for this video, so no ads here. And yeah, thanks.